Okay, today I'm going to show you a little bit about HDR post-processing with a program called Photomatix and a little bit of Photoshop. So basically what you do is you locate a specific file that you want to post-process. In this case, I like this 5216 file. It was inside of an abandoned building, so I went in there and set a light up and just took a couple of shots messing around. But I kind of dig this one, and it might turn out pretty cool in an HDR. So let's see. So basically, the first thing that I do is I open up Photomatix. I have up here, you can see Photomatix Pro 4.0, and what I do is drag the NEF file. See, I have a 5216 JPEG and a 5216 RAW. So I drag the RAW file into Photomatix, and this is going to pull up a box that's just your typical options. I just click OK unless you want to change the white balance or anything like that, but I don't. I just click OK, and then I let it do its thing. It's usually going to take 20 seconds or so, and it's going to generate a picture that you can then tone map or post process in the Photomatix software. So once it generates this picture, it's not going to be a great looking picture that it generates. It's just going to be something to start off with. So right now it says it's reducing noise, so it's getting ready to pull us up an image. And oh, here we go, right here. So it's going to pull this up, and this is kind of a not really a good looking image right now. But down here, there's some Photomatix presets that you can mess with. Again, I have the Photomatix Pro 4.0 version. It's got these presets. Some of them, they're kind of cool, but I don't really mess with them that much. I have my own preset here. The strength, I usually do 100. Color saturation, I usually do between 60 and 70, depends on the specific image. Luminosity and micro contrast, I bump those up to 10, and on smoothing I go to the max here, the light mode. You can play with this, and you can go down, and then you can see over here how it changes your image. But if you go to the minimum, it just generates a picture that I don't really care for. I don't like the style HDR. Some people do. I don't. I like more of this style. My white point and black point I bump all the way up, and my smoothing down here, micro smoothing, all this is 0. So this is usually somewhat of my template to start with. So I got this image, then I push process. And what that does is it turns this raw image into something that I can save as a JPEG. It turns it into a finished product, and then I can save it as a JPEG or something like that. So right now it's still it's a lot better looking than it was a second ago. You can see it's .nef, it's still a raw file, and you can see here that it's pretty noisy. There's a lot of noise in the image. So what I do is I save the image into my folder here. I always have a working and a post-processed folder. The post-processed folder is for images that have already been completely post-processed. I'm done with them. The working folder is something that I'm going to put this in. I save it as a JPEG, and I put it in the working folder because I'm still working with it. So I close this out, then I pull up Photoshop, and then I'm going to go into my working folder here, and I'm going to drag this into Photoshop. Now the first thing I want to do, I can bump this up. I'm on 25% on viewing the image, but if I bump it up to something like 100 and move around here, you can see the noise that's in the image here. I just wanted to bump it up so you could kind of see how noisy it is. See right here. But one of the keys to HDR processing is a program called Imagenomic Noiseware Professional. So I go in my filter, go to Imagenomic Noiseware Professional. And then what I do, this red box here lets you pan around the image where you can see the noise. And then when I release it, you can see how it's going to clear the noise up. I can mess with these sliders and change the effects, but for this instance I'm just going to leave it on all the presets and click OK. And then what it's going to do is it's then going to filter out this noise here, and then it makes, you know, a really cool image. That's the key, is the noiseware. See how it's like, it smooths it out, it just looks a little better. Over here I have Kubota Image Tools, and I really like this one, Artistic Actions Volume 2. They have something in here that I really like. It's called the Daily Multivitamin. So I highlight this and I'm going to push play, and then it's going to give my image a little contrast and pop. I don't know if you could tell, but if you rewind the video and push play, you'll be able to see. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that, and I'm going to put this in the post-processed, save it as a JPEG, and I always use the largest compression that I can, quality 12, maximum large file, and push OK. And then what that's going to do is that's going to give me a I'll go here, it's going to give me a post-process file that I can use. I like this, but then there's some other things I can do to it here. I can take it and put it in Lightroom. I can drag it in here, and I can import it and double click, and that'll take me to where I can develop it. Now over here in Lightroom I can mess with the exposure, brightness, the contrast, etc. But what I'm really looking at for this particular point in time is I like these presets on the left. If you notice right here, there's a small box. Let me blow it up a little bit. There's a small box here. And when you hover your mouse over these presets, you can see a thumbnail of what each effect is going to do to your image. So if you want to do some really cool, sepia tone looks kind of neat, and kind of turn the exposure down, it ends up being kind of cool. I don't know if I like that, so I go to undo and undo, and then you can just kind of play. I really like this aged effect right here because it keeps a little bit of color. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that one quite a bit. So then basically what I want to do is export this one. So I'll export this to the desktop, put in a subfolder, Lightroom exports, and voila, or another really cool image. I like that one a lot. So then what I'm going to do is just bump this in here. And then what I can do is just rename these files, you know, whatever I want. But there's the color version. There's the Lightroom with aged post-processed version there in Lightroom. I kind of like that. So anyway, that's just something. You know, I'll post a few more videos. If you want to leave some comments or subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And I'll keep posting more videos, and maybe this will help somebody out with Photomatix, Lightroom, Kubota Image Tools. So anyway, leave some comments. Thanks for watching.